Okay, so you're here with us because you want to know what's up.
You want that, like...
Yeah, you want the inside track.
Like insider baseball.
You want to be in the know.
Yeah.
And you want to get there quick.
Right.
And so we're diving deep today into the early buzz around the new Masters of the Universe movie.
If you are a Masters of the Universe fan and you're keen to know what's got everybody talking and buzzing about this upcoming film, this is the place to be, because we're diving deep into the initial reports, what they say, what they may be signaling about the final product.
And our source material today is mostly from the Mighty Comics and Collectibles YouTube channel.
Right.
They did a great deep dive, taking a look at IGN's article covering Amazon MGM's presentation at CinemaCon. And our mission is to extract the most crucial details.
Yes.
And see what these early glimpses suggest about the movie and why this matters to you.
Right.
Especially if you value a film that's going to honor the source material, but also bring something fresh to the table.
Yeah. So, I mean, right off the bat, the thing that's so exciting is that the reaction seems to be very positive.
Yeah.
The Mighty Comics and Collectibles guy really zeroes in on this IGN headline.
Okay.
That just says, Masters of the Universe, first footage from Amazon MGM movie revealed incredibly toy-accurate designs.
That's a great headline.
It's a great headline.
And yeah, for so many of us, it's all about the look and feel.
Yeah.
If they can get the visual language right,
yes,
you've got a good foundation there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so.
And yeah, there's a lot of optimism.
Yes.
And excitement.
Right.
Coming out of this first look.
Yeah, and it's important to just kind of clarify what footage means in this case.
Right.
Because it wasn't a completed trailer or anything.
Okay.
It sounds like it was a message from the director Travis Knight, along with the stars Nicholas Galatine as He-Man, or Prince Adam, and Camila Mendez, who's playing Tila.
Okay.
And then there was this montage of behind-the-scenes footage mixed with production artwork.
So not like a trailer dropping bombshells just yet.
No, but
enough to get a sense of like, okay, this is the direction they're going, and we like it.
Yeah, and you know what's really cool is that the director, Travis Knight, has said that he's a huge He-Man Masters of the Universe fan.
Yeah.
Growing up.
But that always bodes well, you know?
Yeah, and you can really see that in the design choices.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, a director who has passion for the project that's coming from a real place.
Yeah.
And I think that usually translates to the screen.
Yeah.
And, you know, speaking of design choices, the emphasis here is on accuracy to the original 1980s toy line and the animated series.
Yeah, and, you know, the commentator pointed out a really cool parallel with Travis Knight's previous work on the Bumblebee movie, which a lot of Transformers fans really loved.
Yes.
Because it was so faithful to the look of the original Transformers.
Yeah.
So it sounds like he knows how to do it.
He seems to know how to translate those iconic designs, you know, onto the screen.
Yeah.
Faithfully.
So now let's get down to some of the specifics.
What characters did we get a look at? So from the production artwork that was shown, we got a look at the Sorceress, played by Marina Baccarin.
Oh, cool.
And Evelyn, played by Alison Brie.
Okay, awesome.
And the commentator said that it looks like these designs were ripped straight from the old toy line and animation style.
Yeah.
Like instantly recognizable. So that's really cool.
That's really great to hear.
Yeah.
I think, you know, we talk about how important that visual language is.
Yeah.
But the Sorceress and Evelyn are just such iconic figures in the Masters of the Universe. And to have their visual representation be so on point is really, really encouraging. And it sort of signals that they're going for something that is like really going to appeal to the core fan base.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just lip service. It's like they actually understand what makes these characters tick visually, and they're going for that.
And it wasn't just artwork. We got to look at some characters who were on set in the middle of production. They saw Trapjaw, played by Sam Silson, and also Triclops, played by Kojo Ada.
Oh, cool.
And apparently they look like updated, you know, more modern versions of the classic toys. But they're holding on to all the essential characteristics. Yeah. So, like, Trapjaw still has the gun arm, the blue of his body, the green face, you know, and all that.
So they're not shying away from this sort of elements of the character design.
Yeah.
And that's so cool. I mean, those details are so important.
Yeah.
Like, that's what makes Trapjaw.
Yeah.
The fact that they're embracing those details really kind of hints at how they might be approaching that translation into live action.
Yeah, and they're saying that the director has managed to make these crazy villains look wild and cool, but without being too goofy.
Yeah, it's a tricky balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
To strike, like, how do you make Trapjaw look cool?
Right.
You know, in a live-action movie.
Right.
But it sounds like they pulled it off.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that speaks to, like, the design, but also, like, the execution.
Yeah.
You know, like, through costumes and practical effects and CGI.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're really thinking about this in a nuanced way.
Yeah.
And they're finding ways to respect those original designs and make them work for a contemporary audience.
Okay, so now let's talk about the big bad, the main villain, Skeletor, played by Jared Leto.
Okay.
And his appearances in this footage were kept kind of mysterious, you know, shrouded in shadow.
Yeah, okay.
But what they could see from some of the production art and I guess like a glimpse of the makeup test, it looks like he's going to have blue skin.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Which is different from that 1987 movie.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. They're going back to that classic look.
That's a huge detail, you know, for fans, because Skeletor's blue skin.
Yeah.
That's just so integral to his visual identity.
Yeah.
And that's a really good sign that they're embracing that.
Yeah.
A lot of people saw that 1987 movie as a bit of a departure from the source material. So this is like a return to form in a lot of ways.
Yeah. The commentator said, you know, the hope is that they get Jared Leto right as Skeletor.
Yeah.
But that if they can get the core character designs
right
and compelling, it's almost a victory regardless of the plot.
Right. And I totally get that. You know,
yeah.
If those visuals are there, like if you just look at it and you're like, oh my God, that's He-Man, that's Skeletor, that's Trapjaw, like you're already halfway there.
Yeah.
You know, and it just builds so much trust.
Totally.
And goodwill with the fan base.
Okay, so moving on to He-Man himself, Nicholas Gallatin.
Okay.
Playing He-Man. And they said he looked appropriately buff and blonde.
Well, that's essential, right? I know. I mean, come on, it's He-Man.
They even got glimpses of his weight training and the fight choreography.
Oh, cool.
So it sounds like they're really emphasizing the physicality of He-Man.
That's so important for the character.
Yeah.
You know, you got to believe that he's strong. Yeah.
That he can wield that sword, you know, and take down Skeletor.
Yeah, and the description of the power sword was appropriately intimidating.
Yes.
Which I love that.
That's what you want to hear, you know. Yeah. You want that sword to look iconic.
Yeah.
And powerful.
Okay. And also Teela, played by Camila Mendez, was seen with red hair.
Cool.
Which the commentator said was spot on.
Nice.
So yeah, it sounds like they're really paying attention to the looks of these characters.
Yeah.
For both the heroes and the villains.
Again, it just reinforces that idea that they're taking this visual fidelity really seriously.
Yeah.
And, you know, for the fans who care about that, it's just so reassuring.
Okay, now here's where things take a kind of a left turn.
Okay.
They got a glimpse of what appeared to be like an American suburban bedroom.
What?
On set.
Oh, hold on a second.
Which is really weird.
That's not Eternia.
No. It's not what we were expecting.
So the commentator was theorizing that maybe the story starts with Adam thinking he's just a normal kid on Earth.
Interesting.
Like he doesn't know that he's from Eternia.
So it's like a fish out of water story.
Yeah.
And then he discovers his true destiny.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's a new spin on things.
Yeah, and it's funny because the commentator pointed out that the 1987 movie brought He-Man to Earth.
Right.
And that was seen as kind of a cheap way.
A cost-cutting measure.
To make the movie.
Right.
But this time, it seems like they're also building huge sets for Eternia.
Okay.
So it's not like they're just trying to, like, make it on the cheap.
Right. So it sounds like a deliberate choice.
Yeah.
To start on Earth.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. And then they're also introducing this character, Susie, who's played by Agatha all along, Sashir Zamata.
Okay.
And she's described as Adam's best friend.
So he's got, like, an established life on Earth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that really ties into the synopsis that we got earlier.
All right.
Saying that he gets stranded on Earth as a 10-year-old.
So maybe a big chunk of the movie takes place on Earth before he even goes to Eternia.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm really curious to see how they handle that.
Yeah. So starting on Earth maybe accomplishes a couple things.
Okay.
One, it lets them kind of ease the audience into the crazy world of Eternia.
Right.
And, like, give him a backstory and make him relatable.
Make him more human.
Yeah.
Before he becomes He-Man.
Yeah. And it also maybe helps them manage the budget.
Yeah.
Because Eternia is going to be expensive to create.
With all the CGI and the crazy sets and everything. Yeah, that makes sense.
So they can spend the money on that.
Right.
When they need to.
Instead of blowing it all at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
And the commentator was also suggesting that this could be the start of a bigger Masters of the Universe franchise.
Oh, that's cool.
For Amazon MGM.
So this could be like the origin story that kicks off a whole series of films or maybe even TV shows.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah. And the hope is that all the fans of those old toys and cartoons from the 80s and 90s will really support this movie.
Yeah.
Especially since it sounds like they're nailing the look of these characters.
I think that's key, you know?
Yeah.
If they can get that right, a lot of fans are going to be on board.
Yeah.
Even if the story takes some liberties.
Yeah, and everybody is already wondering if we're going to see, like, Hordak and She-Ra in future installments.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
They could really build out this whole world.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
Yeah, so as far as the timeline goes, the movie is currently planned to be released on June 5th, 2026.
It's okay.
Which is still a ways away.
Yeah, we got some time to wait.
Yeah, and the commentator said that we probably won't see a full trailer until maybe December of 2025.
So we got to be patient.
Yeah.
But you know what? The little glimpse that we got has definitely gotten me excited.
Yeah, so to sum it all up, it sounds like this initial behind-the-scenes look at the new Masters of the Universe movie has gotten people really excited.
Yes.
Mostly because it seems like they're really dedicated to recreating the look of those classic toys and cartoons.
Yeah, and that's huge, you know?
Yeah.
That's what a lot of fans really care about.
Yeah, so for all of you listening out there, you've got a good understanding now of the early reactions to this project and all the crucial details that have come out.
Yeah, it sounds like they're really trying to get to the heart of what made Masters of the Universe so special back in the day.
Yeah.
And, you know, that emphasis on toy accuracy combined with that really intriguing possibility of Adam starting out on Earth.
Yeah.
And that's a really cool mix of honoring the source material but also exploring some new territory narratively.
Yeah. So here's our final thought for you all to chew on.
Okay.
Given everything we've talked about, you know, the accuracy and the potential Earth origins story, what are the specific things that you think this movie absolutely has to get right about the Masters of the Universe lore?
What are the non-negotiables?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you think that Earth's storyline might either help or hurt?
Right.
You know?
Because it could go either way.
Yeah.
It's a balancing act.
Yeah, it's a tricky balance between nostalgia and new interpretations.
Absolutely.
So thanks for diving deep with us today.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, this is really exciting stuff.
I'm so hyped for this movie.